Happy Monday, and welcome to episode 18 of the Sneak Preview, our podcast that follows the current film release calendar. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
And I'm Caleb Leger.
And this is our belated episode on Mortal Kombat. The film debuted in theaters and on HBO Max on Friday, April 23rd, but that Sunday was the Academy Awards, and we used last week's show to recap the awards. But here it is, a film we were both super excited for. In addition, we'll talk a bit about three other releases from this weekend: Separation, Without Remorse, and The Mitchells versus the Machines. But first, we got to take a look at what happened last week in film. Last week in film. First up, there were two trailers released. The second trailer for Pixar's upcoming film Luca, which follows two sea monsters who try to learn about the surface world on the Italian Riviera. The film is set for release on Disney Plus on June 18th, and it's Pixar, so I have zero reservations whatsoever. I'm going to watch this.
Yeah, same. I mean, we're both kids of the 90s, so Disney and Pixar pretty much ruled our childhood. And yeah, they haven't really, minus maybe a car sequel here and there, they haven't led me astray too much. So yeah, I'm excited. I'll see it.
Yeah, this looks cute. I'm sure it's going to have some great life lessons on family and identity and friendship and whatnot. So let's do it.
Yeah, at some point I'll cry and, totally deny it later.
Yeah.
As is usual with them.
I'm hoping that it's not another, a $30 rental purchase. I'm hoping it's like they did with Soul, where they just dropped it.
I think I read it's not, because apparently Pixar animators are getting pissed off about that. But I could be wrong. Don't quote me. But I think I read it's going to be free.
I hope so. I mean, Onward and Soul were dropped on Disney Plus without a rental fee. So I think Pixar is just cool.
I mean, I've only seen Onward. I have not seen Soul yet. I need to watch Soul. I haven't seen it.
Soul's good. Onward was better, in my opinion.
I really liked Onward. Really liked Onward.
That movie hit me right in the fucking heart. Like, that movie made me cry so hard.
I have personal reasons myself with that, and when I got to know, I was like, oh god, nope, won't do it. Nope, not today, Pixar, not today.
But also, it was hilarious. Like, the scene where he sacrifices his van and the tire blows and it starts galloping. I couldn't stop laughing. That was brilliant.
That was Chris. It was Chris Pratt and Tom Holland.
Yeah,
they were hilarious in that movie together. They were cracking me up.
Yeah, that was a great one. And then Soul was good too. It was just a lot more ethereal and a lot more serious than Pixar is usually. And that's saying something, considering the dramatic moments we've gotten from Pixar. But this is a film literally about death, and it gets harsh sometimes. I liked it, but I don't know if I'd watch it again.
Okay. No, I'll probably I'll watch it. I mean, they haven't done me wrong 9 times out of 10. I'll forgive some shitty sequels that have come out.
There's still a few I haven't seen. I've not yet seen Coco, Brave, The Good Dinosaur, the Cars sequels, or Monsters University.
Okay. The only 2 I've seen on that listing is Monsters University, which was okay. It's obviously not Monsters Inc. Yep. And then Coco, which that one I do highly recommend. Coco was really, really good.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard that one's one of their greatest films and a real tearjerker. So
yeah, it's really funny. The animation's beautiful. And then it gets to the end when they're resolving some stuff, and it's you start having to fight back those tear ducts.
Right on. Yeah, I'll get there for sure. The other trailer is for Georgetown, the directorial debut of Christoph Waltz, who also stars as a Washington, D.C. social climber who may have murdered his rich, connected, much older wife. It's based on a true story and stars Waltz, Vanessa Redgrave, and Annette Bening. It's set for a limited release on May 14th and an on-demand release on May 18th. It's not getting great reviews. It was supposed to come out in 2019. But it's Walt's directorial debut, and I love that guy. So I'm gonna check this out, give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I will too. Don't hate me. I totally forgot to see this trailer. I saw it pop up on YouTube, never got around to watching it. Or not that I didn't get around. I was like, oh, I'll watch that later because I was off to go do something. Later came and I forgot. But I'm like you. I like Waltz. It's one of my new favorite actors. So I'll probably check it out at some point.
Yeah. It looks, he kind of looks like if, Hans Landa lived today and worked in DC. That kind of smarmy but intelligent bastard.
Okay.
And it's based on a true story. So I'm wondering like how, accurate is it? And there's a great moment in the trailer where Vanessa Redgrave is his way older wife that he clearly married for the money and the social influence. And she tells him like, it's like you have alcohol in your breath or something like that. And he goes, well, you stink of the grave. And it's like, fuck, this is going to be dark. So
yeah. Got her.
It's So I like these kinds of movies, these weird little, small amount of actors, kind of, ensemble, quirky dramas. So I'll go into this with positive thoughts.
Yeah. When I say like, I'm going to get to it, I know a lot of times I use that as like, well, I'll get to it when I get through the other movies I really want to watch. This is let it be known to the team and fans. This is the exception for the current foreseeable future of this year because of my circumstances with our pandemic and what I was doing. There's just a shit ton of films I want to watch. And yeah, unfortunately, Georgetown not high up there compared to like other big hitters that I've been hearing about and need to see, especially the horror front. I just watched the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. So that put a lot more movies that they were talking about. I was like, oh shit, I need to see this. So it's just a matter of like, I have to figure out, okay, what do I really want to watch first and then go from there.
Fair enough. I'm using this podcast as an excuse to stay current with the film calendar and watch as much as I can so I can bring movies of all sorts to this show. And Georgetown will be one of those films for sure.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, like so you've seen me with like the Godzilla vs. Kong. Now the one we're talking about today with Mortal Kombat, Spiral coming out, which I cannot be more excited to see. I'm still trying to see the new movies to stay current. So obviously, and it has a lot to do with one. I miss going to the theaters like a lot of I'm sure movie buffs. I know you yourself. I miss going. I fucking love the theater. So if there's a big hit movie coming out that I've been dying to see, yeah, I'll go see it. I've now officially, thanks to the pandemic, had to wait an extra year to see some of these movies. So,
and I am fully vaccinated now, so any guilt I was feeling is completely gone.
We're getting our shipment, I believe I was told by someone this week. So I got to figure out when I'm supposed to get my shot. Because apparently it's like because of, about the whole like kicking people's ass with that second shot. Yeah, the way the ship's doing, I think they're trying to plan it where like when you get it, you get off that day and the next and then come into work after.
They are not kidding about the second shot. I had my doubts. I was like, no, nothing's going to get me. I got the shot. I was fine all day. I woke up the next day, felt like absolute hammered shit. It was full body aches, a little nausea, and I was just like, oh God. So yeah.
When you mentioned it to me last week, like, well, I got the shot. And I was like, well, wait till the next day. I saw your Facebook post the next day, and I almost wanted to sit there and be like, told you so.
Yeah. That's my bad. That's my arrogance. So it lasts about a day and a half. The muscle aches. The nausea lasted only about 20 minutes. And,
okay. See, for me, I can take like the muscle ache stuff. Nausea, it kills me. Look, I've had my fun in high school and college, right? Too many hangovers with nausea that I don't like to. I hate that feeling of like just laying on my couch, feeling like I have to throw up, but I don't have to throw up. I hate it.
The worst part was the persistent fever. I could feel like I had, a cold sweat going on. I could feel it like, trying to break in my head, and it was just crazy. And then later that evening, I had to go physically to the campus and do a presentation, and I was so pissed. I had to get on the bus, walk all the way to the history building, and talk about Rocky Erickson for 20 minutes. Like, as much as I love learning about this guy, I was not in the right, frame of mind or body to be talking about anything, let alone leaving my apartment. So not a great day.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure, dude. My cat's gonna fucking love that day because he can't leave my side. He's actually like by my side right now, letting me know he's here, as if I'm not aware.
Mine is locked out of the room because he still doesn't quite understand how podcasts work.
Mine tried jumping on my lap, but I'm like, no, sorry, buddy. You gotta wait till this is over.
Moving on. We talked a little, Austin and I talked a bit about this on yesterday's Oscar Sunday episode. Leonardo DiCaprio is producing and may star in an American remake of Thomas Vinterberg's Oscar-winning dramedy Another Round, which just won the Oscar for Best International Film, also nominated for Best Director. And because it's popular and foreign, Hollywood wants to make it English. I mean, American. And I don't like that this is the case for all genres. It's always fucked up. It never works as well as the foreign version because that's the definitive version. And I wish people would just learn to fucking read and watch the Danish one, which is great.
I thought we made headway with Parasite. I thought Parasite was a big game changer.
So did
I. Why are we still doing it? It's like, I remember, what is it? We talked about it, The Raid, one of my, as we now know, because it's recorded, one of my favorite movies. Those American remake talked about for years, and I was against it. I was like, no. I was like, martial arts films only work foreign. I have yet to really sit through, minus many of the John Wick movies, sit through an American movie that makes me go, wow, what great martial arts, because we're not really a country known for that. So it's like, no, I don't want your American remake of what I already got and have seen over hundreds of times and love. No, I don't want it. I can just turn on the subs and read. And if I have friends over that really hate subs, I'll sit through the dub. Okay. I want to enjoy it. Yeah. I mean, I won't enjoy it, but I'll do it. I'll do anything but watch the fucking American remake.
Well, it's funny you brought up Parasite because Bong Joon-ho and Adam McKay are working on an American version of Parasite for HBO. So there's no headway. Americans don't like things that aren't American, and that will never change. It sucks, but that's why we're getting a Train to Busan remake, why we've got a Grudge remake, why we got a Ring remake. It's because people don't. If it's not happening here, Americans don't give a fuck.
And what kills me is that all these remakes you're naming, right? The only two I would say that did good were Grudge and The Ring. The only ones that did financially well. How you like them is, obviously subjective. But the only two that really did well. Besides that, these have consistently flopped. I don't understand how they keep getting made.
Well, and they didn't need to exist in the first place. They're the Japanese versions are really good horror films that can stand on their own. They don't need to be Americanized.
No, and yeah, I'm with you.
Another Round is a great Danish film, a great dramedy about, life and, midlife crisis and just kind of figuring yourself out that I, as an American, was able to relate to. Just because it's in Danish doesn't mean that Americans can't get it. I don't get this mentality.
People don't want, you know what? We should probably be careful. We're going to say we're probably offending a small group of people.
If they're offended, I don't want them here anyway.
I'm with you. It bugs me. Now, okay, I will say this. I will defend the American remake of The Grudge only because, hear me out here, the huge crush I have on Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Don't we all?
Yeah, so I'll defend that one because I saw that as a kid and it was like the best thing ever for me because she was in it. Besides that, yeah, no, I've never sat there and been like, oh my God, American remake. Now I don't have to read the subs. It's like, no, I don't. I'll just watch. Like, and especially because other countries, like Japanese cinema, for example, they give away with a lot more shit than America does. That's so true. Obviously, like, they can make things by Takashi Miike like Audition and Ichi the Killer. That shit would not fly in America. Like, they'd be like, no, we gotta neuter that.
Good God. Could you imagine an American remake of Audition? Ugh.
The whole ending would be just so watered down.
Watered down as hell. I can see the trailer right now. I can hear the jump music. Horseshit.
Honestly, can you imagine them trying to do an Itchy the Killer remake in America?
The movie would be a half hour long because of all the shit they'd have to take out of that. I would never fly here. I think a big part of it for me is that, and this doesn't apply to every American filmmaker, obviously, but at least the ones who are remaking these films, they never nail the atmosphere. They always fuck that up. They always forget the point of the movie. And we end up with some lukewarm trash that's identical to every other film that's come out in America in the past 10 years.
And you know what? Honestly, sometimes even the original director, the Grudge remake was done by the Japanese director.
Yeah.
So sometimes I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily, I think it's the studio. I think it's the number one, always been an issue with Hollywood filmmaking. It's the studios.
Yeah. Ugh. Well, I hope this falls apart in pre-production and we don't get an American remake of another round. Doesn't need to happen. As much as I love Leo, he's better than this. Why is he focusing his energy towards this?
He can literally do anything, and this is what he picks.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Just do the 10th Quentin Tarantino, Leo. Okay, just be in his final film, all right?
Be the bad guy in Kill Bill 3.
Whatever the fuck Tarantino has cooking up. I know he's talked about a goddamn Star Trek script that I don't think is ever going to see the light of day.
That's been completely shelved by Paramount. There's no that. I think they're looking at Noah Hawley now to do a 4th Star Trek.
You know what? Not a bad choice at all. I'm not going to complain about that. But I remember when I read that and they're like, he was like, yeah, I'm going to make this R-rated. I was like, you really think they're going to let you do an R-rated Star Trek? I was like, look, I don't know if you know how this works, Tarantino, but what the studio likes to do is take an R-rated franchise and then PG-13 it. It does not like to go the other way, ever.
No. You know, it's weird how like so many ideas are announced by the studio and like 2% of them ever actually fucking happen. So many are just like announced prematurely, gets our hopes up, and then it's shelved forever. And I'm so tired of that. Like one day, long after we're dead, somebody's going to wake up and be like, holy shit, I'm the problem. And then filmmakers will get to do what they want, but not for a very long time.
No, and you know what? That same thought I keep applying every single day of my life to the Friday the 13th legal case. Eventually, one of them is going to realize they're the problem. Get out of court on that series.
See, the Friday the 13th lawsuit is exactly the reason why every American child, and probably globally, are taught at an early age the importance of sharing. Because, you know, things are better when you work together. This is not just horseshit. This is true.
Like, you know, give me a new Jason on the big screen.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm very mad that I still don't have a Friday the 13th movie.
I'll take a small screen Jason at this point.
I'll take anything. I'm getting a second Halloween movie before I get another Jason movie. What the fuck? I'm getting a Scream 5 and a Texas Chainsaw. Who God knows what number it is at this point, because even I've lost count.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know the details because we have not yet done Friday the 13th, so I haven't looked into it. But it's frustrating, it's annoying, it's unnecessary, and it's halting one of the most beloved horror franchises in history.
Yes. One of the most beloved and most profitable. I think it was the most independently successful franchise up until Saw.
Oh.
I'd have to look it up again, but I want to say that was its thing. And then Saw kind of took it from it because, you know, if it's Halloween, then it must be Saw.
In this case, mid-May.
I don't think we'll ever have that one, but that was a fun time.
Well, you know, we're getting a new one, and that's what matters.
That is what matters, and I cannot wait.
Next up, keeping in that same vein, apparently it's not just the Americans who are remaking foreign stuff. Oscar-winning French director Michel Hazanavicius is working on a French remake of the Japanese zombie film One Cut of the Dead, currently titled Final Cut. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just white people.
Yeah. Have you seen that yet? What Girl Dead?
Not yet. I know Josh, I think, reviewed it and gave it a 10. He was a big fan.
I saw it. Joe Bob did an episode on it, so I gotta see it. And I'm sure Josh will agree with me. I don't want this remade just because of how that movie is. It goes in a completely different direction than what you think I'm going. And how that movie is, I don't want it remade. It was amazing, perfect, just one of the most surprisingly one of the most surprising films I've seen in my life. Like I was not expecting to go the way it did, and I couldn't have been happier with how they did it. It's an awesome film. I do not want it remade.
I find remakes insulting. Like you know, it's not you making an original thing. It's you trying to take somebody else's awesome thing and pass it off as your own shit. And that's, you know, I was an English major in my undergrad. That's fucking plagiarism.
It I don't
So I hate that shit.
We pour all this effort into like remaking good movies that are getting re-releases on Blu-ray and DVD and streaming. Like they get re-released all the time anyway.
Yeah.
We make a bad movie that isn't getting as much love. So then maybe people will be like, well, the remake's like, I want to kind of go check out the original one.
Yeah. I mean, you know, if I was, you know, a sculptor and I sculpted something amazing, like, you know, the Statue of David or some shit, I'm going to be like, that's fantastic. I'm very happy with that. I'm going to put that in a museum and look at it every day. But if I kept fucking up this one thing, I'm going to keep working at it, try to make it better, try to, you know, redo it and think like, I'm going to make this really good this time. Makes sense. You don't, you know, if you already have an awesome movie, don't keep making it because you can't capture lightning in a bottle twice. Like, no. But if you fucked up once, you know, try again.
Yeah. I mean, there are very few remakes that outmatch the original. Then there are very few that I even remotely like. If you go even beyond that group, you know what I mean? Like, personally, I like the Friday 13th remake, right? I would still like, just me personally, I like it. I would still take those first 6 movies over it any day.
Well, there's a few remakes I enjoy for what they are, but there's so few, if any, that I can think of that surpass the original. I can't off the top of my head.
The Fly and the Thing.
The Fly and the Thing. The Fly, the Thing. I'd throw the Mummy in there too, the 99 one.
I know a lot of people. I need to watch it myself. I know a lot of people say The Blob from the 80s.
I've heard that's a big one. So it can be done, but it is very, very rare.
Yeah.
And it is, you know, you got to do something incredible. You got to do something crazy that completely changes the tone and feeling of the original film. Yeah. And that's what The Fly and the Thing very much did.
I was about to say, they took those movies and made something completely different while still honoring what came before that with their movies.
Yeah, for sure. Like one that I can tolerate because I think it's a good mixture of, you know, tongue in cheek and a great cast is 2011's Fright Night, which is the remake of one of my all-time favorite horror films. So I was very hesitant going into that one, and I thought, you know what, not bad.
I remember thinking it wasn't bad when I saw it. I remember like renting it and liking it. For me personally, is actually an same concept almost, but the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake does not obviously beat like the original film. Like I hold that on such a high pedestal, but I do like the remake. I think the remake pretty much actually knows what it's trying to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think that one counts. I think that one is pretty decent. But like you said, you know, Texas Chainsaw is such a bona fide classic that coming, you know, getting on even footing with that is next to impossible.
Yeah. It's probably never going to happen. But like I said, the remake, it accomplished to me exactly what it was trying to do, and I enjoyed it. And I have watched it many a times. I've gone back to it quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, you know, here's hoping. I don't know why this is necessary, but here it is. Final cut.
Oh, I'll just keep watching One Cut of the Dead. I'm fine.
This was really cool. George Romero's final unproduced zombie film, Twilight of the Dead, is on the verge of starting production, thanks to the efforts of Romero's widow, Suzanne Romero. The film was intended to conclude Romero's zombie franchise that began with 1968's Night of the Living Dead. Before his death, Romero had finished a treatment, and Suzanne has been meeting with screenwriters to finish the script and get the movie finished. And this is really cool. One final Romero zombie film to tie it all together. That's just great news.
I'm excited. Actually, I know Josh mentioned on Slither. I got the book also, The Living Dead. That yeah, his wife had worked with this author, stand by, Daniel Krauss, to finish it. And if she applies what she did with that book to that script, it's going to be great, because the book, you cannot tell which one is this new author, which is Romero. It feels so much like Romero wrote that book start to finish. So I'm excited based off what she was able to pull off with getting this book finished now, and to see what she can do with a movie now. And what was supposed to be his final zombie movie.
Yeah, this is going to be really cool. I hope that the team of screenwriters is like, just like the best guys doing zombie shit right now. Like that would be just fantastic. Like, I'd throw Edgar Wright in that mix. I think he'd be cool to be there, because he clearly knows how to honor Romero.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but anyone that isn't attached to Walking Dead, I'll be fine with.
Ooh, that's a low blow, but I get it.
I'm sorry. I'm tired of them being up their ass in delusion about, show's doing really good. Your numbers suck, and the show is kind of dragging its feet. I'll get into that another day.
It's like that meme of the dog sitting at the table and the room's on fire, and he's like, "This is fine."
That's exactly what. Exactly what it is. Okay, look. I sat through those fucking 6 bonus episodes, and all I could think was like, how is it you sit there with, you had 20 million at your peak 20 million viewers. You're now down to like 1 or 2 million at best an episode. How do you look at those numbers and go, oh yeah, we're doing great? You know what? We know the pandemic. You didn't get that finale out in time for season 10, but because we have this awesome 1 to 2 million viewers an episode, again, at peak was 20. You know what we'll do for you guys? 6 bonus episodes. 6. And it was like, it almost felt in those 6 episodes, I was watching it, let's say you turn the show off after the season's over and the characters just keep living their lives. It goes on without you until you tune in next season. That's what those 6 episodes felt like. I was just seeing the shit that goes down when I turn the TV off.
That sounds terrible.
It was so bad. It meandered. It was clearly filmed during a pandemic. Yeah, don't get them. And I love Greg Nicotero. Just get someone that's not attached to the fucking show.
Well, thankfully, I broke up with The Walking Dead before the relationship got toxic. And I'm sorry to hear that you're still trapped in that one.
I hate being a completionist sometimes.
I'm going to go back to it just in my own time when everything's settled down. I'm in no hurry to find out which cast member is going to go crazy this season. It's probably going to be Carol. It's always Carol.
It's always Carol, because God bless Daryl has any other fucking emotion.
Daryl should have been beaten to death by Negan in the season 7 premiere to really prove this motherfucker's serious.
Well, and to finally go with their comment, like, no one's safe on this show. God, them in Game of Thrones, man, no one's safe on our shows, at least until halfway through the run, when the shows are way too big and we have characters we know you want to keep alive, or else you will walk away from us. But yeah, no one is safe.
I want to release, I'm a writer. I've written a few books. I want to write a book that, like a series that follows a main character, and you are so certain he's the main character. He's the guy. He's the man. He's done, he's the chosen one or some bullshit. And then halfway through the first book, his ass gets killed so unceremoniously, and then we follow somebody else for the rest of the franchise. I want to do that just to see what people think.
I feel like people would be fine. I think people forget they did that shit with Scream. You all thought Drew Barrymore was going to be your main character. And spoiler for those of you who have yet to see Scream, she's not. She dies. Like, and guess what? We moved on. We got 3 sequels after that, with a 4th sequel on the way. 5th
Yeah.
movie, 5th sequel. So
I think at this point, I think they should kill Nev Campbell in the opening act of Scream 5.
I would still watch the rest of Scream 5.
How fucking ballsy would that be if they did
That would be ballsy.
Like,
I wouldn't be surprised. I've seen the guy's other movie, Ready or Not, which I loved. So seeing how that movie went, especially its ending, I would not be surprised if they did some shit like that.
I wonder if they'd have to get like somebody's blessing, like the studio or like Wes Craven's estate, or how that would work.
I doubt the studio, now that the Weinsteins have been taken down.
Ooh. Oh, it was Miramax, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a Weinstein production.
Who owns Scream now?
Yeah. Fuck. I have to look it up. It was this company that like swooped in and bought a bunch of Weinstein assets and properties. Like, as soon as that shit was going on, they swooped in and bought a bunch of shit.
Nice.
I forget who it is. It's not a big company though. So
Well,
I mean, they might be able to get away with that, because I know like Craven's relationship with the Weinsteins degraded after Cursed happened. So.
Oh, Cursed. Yeah, I was like, it
was literally supposed to do what Scream did for slashers, but with werewolves, and Weinstein's came in and fucked that movie up.
There are so few decent werewolf movies. Like, it's really ridiculous.
We could have had a Wes Craven one, and the studio fucked us.
That's a shame. Cursed. I'd like to see that for myself.
It's on HBO Max.
Well, maybe I'll take a gander. Finally, Oscar-winning actress Olympia Dukakis has passed away at 89 years old after months of ailing health. Dukakis won her Oscar for her performance in 1987's Moonstruck. She'd also appeared in such films as Steel Magnolias, Mighty Aphrodite, Mr. Holland's Opus, and Away From Her. She will be missed. And I hate to admit it, but I did not know she was still alive. She just, in 87 in Moonstruck, she seemed so old then, and I was like, huh. So it's more of a shock 2 ways for me on this one.
I'd hate to admit it, but I haven't seen these movies, so
I've only seen Moonstruck of this bunch, and she's great in Moonstruck. That's a funny movie. Moonstruck is a I don't like rom-coms typically. I find them trite and ridiculous, but Moonstruck was cute because Nicolas Cage can bring gravitas to fucking anything. I don't care what anyone says.
Was this back when he brought gravitas?
Well, he plays a one-armed, like, Greek love seeker who falls in love with his brother's wife, and that's
not the craziest thing he's played.
No. And it's cute. It's endearing. Everyone's kind of like, looking for love, but I hate to, in all the wrong places. I didn't want to say it, but there it is. And it's a cute movie. I liked it.
I know I made my little like gravitas comment, but I love Nicolas Cage, and I don't mind checking anything out with him in it. I read somewhere supposedly he's supposed to be in a Tiger King adaptation where he's playing Joe Exotic.
I remember that too. Yeah.
I want that so bad in my life.
Did you watch the history of swear words?
Not series? Yet. I need to see that because I saw he hosts that.
Yeah, and it's fucking hilarious. It's to hear him like enunciate. Like, my favorite one was the episode on Dick, because he just like Dick, like he puts his whole face into saying the word, and he says that he exudes big Nick energy, as he put it. Like, just little shit like that. It was great.
Oh my god. Dude, yeah. I'm gonna put on record. It bugs the shit out of me when people talk about, like, who's a bad actor? Nicolas Cage. I'm like, fuck you. No, he's not. I'm like, that guy brings it every single time he does something. I'm like, no, he's actually one of the most committed actors I've ever seen.
Nicolas Cage is a great actor who has made some bad choices.
Yeah, I'm like, you can by all means say he's picked some terrible movies. That's true. but he's great. And I think like a lot, I think unfortunately, as much as I've been liking his kind of like little mini career resurgent with this dip into like independent horror movies, he's been doing a lot.
No.
Unfortunately, not a lot of people are watching those things. But if you watch him in that, he's acting like early acting style. They're like Mom and Dad, Mandy. I need to see his new one, Really's Wonderland. I heard he doesn't even talk, but he's like really good in it.
Yeah.
So,
dude, Mandy proved to me that he's still got the spark. Like he still has talent in him, and I wish more people would realize that.
Yeah,
he's still Academy Award-winning actor Nicolas Cage.
Exactly, and I want to show people because me and actually it's funny when me and Josh saw it actually at the same time when it came on Shudder. I was in San Diego at the time going to school for Aztec, and he was still in Bremerton. We synced it to where we were watching at the same time and texting each other, and we both commented on that bathroom scene.
Oh yeah,
he goes in there. It's that one shot, and he is rage, grief, total fucking just crazy there for a moment. Like everything, one take, all in a span of like what 5 minutes. That was fucking acting. I want to show people to me like, tell me again he's not a good actor because look at this right here.
Yeah, it's magical. A Nicolas Cage film is an experience to me. He's his own genre at this point.
I will always watch something if his name's attached.
Yeah, I will. I don't give a shit what the hell the rest of the movie's about. If he's in it, I'm in.
Yes, that's why I really want him. I want this Show Exotic show with him as Show Exotics. I can't wait to him say that bitch Carol Baskin. And with he'll have the mullet and everything. See, no Cage, he goes all in.
He is just crazy enough to do that. And yeah, bring it on. Oh, well, anyway, rest in peace, Olympia Dukakis. You got to act with one of our greatest national treasures, Nicolas Cage.
I see what you did there.
Oh, yeah. So, before we get into Mortal Kombat, let's talk a little bit about the other 3 films that came out this weekend, all 3 of which I got to see. Separation, first of all. I am so tired of this specific movie because they make it 3 or 4 times a year. It's always a studio backed, like a big studio backed horror film releasing in theaters that has no fucking clue what it wants to do, but it saw The Conjuring and was like, make that, because that's what happens. And this movie is so nonsensical. It portrays the worst parents I've ever seen. Just a mom who is so vindictive simply because her husband's unemployed. Like that's all he's done. All he does is just not have a job for a while, like a couple months. He's a great father. He's a good person, but she's like, you don't have a job, so I'm taking your child away forever. And then like, she's literally screaming on the phone, she's mine. Like it's so over the top vindictive. And then the ghost shit makes no sense. It comes out in broad daylight, just walks like there's this like weird puppet looking thing that wanders into frame randomly throughout the movie. And it's so the buildup is non-existent. So it's just like, what the hell is that? There's no fear involved. It's just like, what the hell is this? And yeah, I was Brian Cox was there, and I felt bad for that because he is so much better than this. And I very much do not like Rupert Friend as an actor. I think he's terrible, and he was so miscast as the dad in this. And I couldn't say enough negative things about this. I mean, the guy who made it is the dude who made The Devil Inside. So I don't know how he was able to keep making movies after that.
Not just that movie. He also made The Boy.
Yeah.
Which I also sat through that. Have you seen that one yet?
I have not.
Oh yeah, I sat through that. So look, admittedly, I watched that mainly because Lauren Cohen from The Walking Dead's in it, and I think she's hot. That was my driving force. I can admit it. And you know what? On her front of looking good, it delivered. Problem is, everything else I want in a movie, actually pretty much I like the important stuff I want in a movie, not just like a pretty actress. It failed horrendously. And yeah, after like between that and Devil Inside, I have yet to sit through The Boy 2. So I'm like, no, you're not tricking me again. And then I saw the trailer for this, saw who directed it, and I was like, nope.
This, I'm not surprised. This guy, what's his name? William Brent Bell is a fucking hack. And it's time to retire because you can't make a good movie.
I try not to disrespect because it's a bitch to get movies made, but dear God, man, this is now your fourth movie. Give me something good.
Yeah, it's the same shit. It's just, like I said, they make this film every year. The Turning, Devil Inside, The Unholy. Like, it's just, you take a concept, you shove it down our throats, you cast one or two big name actors, you never actually deliver on anything, and we all leave disappointed.
Well, this is a thing, and it might hopefully change with this whole, like how theaters having to react with the pandemic and reopening. They got away with it for so long because they make these movies for cheap. And then they would do the dump month, right? January, February, because then they could make their money back. So there's nothing else to go fucking see. So people were like, well, let's go see it. That's why we end up like with the shitty ass Grudge remake that, oh God, okay.
We're remaking films now. That's where we're at.
Yeah, we're remaking films. I'm going to try to not rant about how much I hate that movie because you saw it in my review when I sent it to you. But like they release it around that time for very cheap, and guess what happens? There's nothing else to see people, so people go see it, and it makes money. Like it makes over its budget. It's kind of a shady trick or a business savvy, depending on how you want to look at that. But that's how they've been getting away with this for so long. Is that like they between budget and timing when they release it, they can make their money back, and it's like no loss for anyone. Hopefully, between how Unholy did not do good. I'm sure I haven't really heard jack shit about this doing any good at the box office. That with theaters reopening and like almost post pandemic, I would say. I don't know if we're really post yet or not. That hopefully this shit will change and we'll kind of see it fade away.
Hopefully. Right now, Separation's holding at an 11% Rotten Tomatoes score. It's made about 1.8 million worldwide so far. Trying to find its budget. There is it's not I can't find its budget. Not surprised. Don't see this. It's a waste of time, waste of money. And I've seen a lot of horror films now. I know they can do better. So there's no excuse at this point. I'm tired of watching this movie. I'm done.
When you made a good comment, it's like, they saw The Conjuring, right? I mean, they do that. Studios do that shit all the time. More so, I know they do it with any genre, but especially horror. Yeah. Something like The Conjuring takes off, and they don't latch onto why Conjuring did so well, but that type of movie took off. That's what we're going to make. They keep pumping it out, and they do it all the fucking. Look at the new Halloween. Halloween did its concept like it's a sequel that ignores everything past the first original movie. How many goddamn horror film franchises have been announced now that are doing the exact same fucking thing?
Yeah. It's, there's these trends, and the studios go by what makes money. And if that made money, then clearly if we do the same thing to our thing, it's going to make money too. They're like, the fucking seagulls in Finding Nemo. It's ridiculous. It's a bunch of hive mind idiots who don't actually know what they're fucking doing.
And it just bugs me. And now don't get me wrong, like sometimes if you get like I'll use the upcoming Chainsaw Massacre we're getting, for example, because it is doing the same thing. It's ignoring all sequels, direct sequels to the original movie. I have hope for that though, because it's not you have someone like Fede Alvarez coming in to produce it, who has proven to be really good with movies like Don't Breathe and the Evil Dead remake, reboot, what the fuck you want to say that Evil Dead movie. So I think like I said, when it's the studio that just looks at it and goes, okay, let's pump a movie out like that out, that's where it goes bad. When you have someone that says like, yeah, we are going to use this concept from a prior movie, but that's just a part of what we're doing, and they are approaching it with the love and care needed.
Yeah. Then
it can still work. So I'm actually, because of things he said in interviews about the upcoming Chainsaw Massacre, that's a case where like, yeah, I'm actually like really excited for it. It's just that concept staying. There's a lot of stuff they're doing with it that has me excited.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to Candyman, because it's the same vein. It's, people, all I care about is like are the people involved aware of the film's legacy? Are they aware of the backlash that could potentially happen? And do they care about the product? Like, who is here for the money? And the less people who are there for the money, the better, obviously.
Right. But, so yeah, and then another end, especially when you got like what we saw with Unholy and Now Separation. There was no care, just like, hey, this is Conjuring. People want their fucking, until the slasher revival kicks off in the next year or two, all the films that got talked about and that have been announced. They're still like, oh, they still want their fucking paranormal movies. So we just keep pumping those out. That's what they want. They don't want found footage anymore. They don't want torture porn. Paranormal.
I've always seen horror. I've always compared it as kind of, I think I've talked about this on the Filmgazm podcast before. It's like panning for gold in a stream in 1849. Like, there's a lot of rock dust. There's a lot of just mud and shit that you got to get through to find those little nuggets of gold. It's work, and you are going to be disappointed a lot, but it is worth it to find a Halloween or a Candyman or a Sinister. It is worth it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why there's like, unlike other genres, there's a community when it comes to horror. Because with horror, because of that, like, analogy, you have to like get behind creators more so than anything.
Yeah.
More so than a studio. And even if you do get behind a studio, it has to be someone like Blumhouse who has a proven track record, or even like A24, right? Like, proven track record companies. Yes. You cannot sit there and just be like, well, anything Universal does, because Universal's fucked up with Universal monster movies somehow, minus recently. But again, they partnered with Blumhouse.
There you go. Because Jason Blum and A24 have a creative approach to what they latch onto. They actually care about script and atmosphere, and they want to make something good. They don't just want to make something. No,
yeah. It's not here's a studio factory. It's like they are fans wanting to make movies for fans.
Yeah.
So it's like you said, I think that's why there's such a strong community within the horror genre, because we have to get behind actual creators that want to give us something else. We're going to keep getting whatever Warner, Universal, when Weinstein's existed, whatever they wanted to put out. You know what I mean? Half the time, the shit they put out is shit, honestly.
Yeah. We've gotten to a point where, fans are making their own movies, and they are vastly better because, I've often thought, that's why I wrote Consequence, my vampire novel, because I've watched a lot of vampire movies. Now, these are shit. I could probably do better than that. And wrote my own. And a lot of people with a lot more clout than I have done the same and managed to make their shit. And, we talk about it on these podcasts because it's stuff that resonates with us. And it's just going to reinvigorate a new generation of fans to want to make something that they think is awesome.
Yeah. I got movies, I got merchandise, I got fucking t-shirts, tattoos. Like, yeah, I'm with you, man.
Makes perfect sense to me. Next up, Without Remorse. Amazon original movie based on Tom Clancy's novel of the same name, but very different story, apparently. I haven't read any Clancy because I'm not a big espionage thriller guy. And I watched this film entirely based on the fact that I really like Michael B. Jordan. And he's the best part about this movie. He's good. The story is pretty by the numbers when it comes to espionage thriller. You got your Russian anarchists, you got your government conspiracy, you got your SecDef, you got everything that needs to be there for this to be a Clancy story. And it kind of just happens the way you think it's going to happen. There's like a post-credits tease for the next movie I don't think is going to fucking happen. And the guy who you think is like, there's supposed to be this big twist at the end, like, oh my God, he's the real bad guy. And from the second he shows up on screen, you're like, of course he's the fucking bad guy. Like, there's no twist there. It's very obvious who the bad guy is in this film. And the action sequences were decent, but overall, this was pretty lukewarm. I gave it a 7.
Okay. I might get to it again. Like I said at the beginning, I have like a laundry list of films I need to catch up on. That's not exactly high up on there for me. I
watch these films so you don't have to.
Fair enough. Like you, I like Michael B. Jordan a lot. Very great actor that we have currently.
Oh yeah.
Um, I I have read a couple of Tom Clancy books, and he's a great writer, but dear God, I get lost in the jargon, so it's hard for me to really get into it.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess now that I'm in the military, it's like I really don't want to read that kind of stuff. Um,
Understandable.
yeah. Uh, and then as far as the Prime thing, like I do watch the show Jack Ryan with John Krasinski, which I like. Um, but even then, like I did watch the trailer for this one. I was like, it looks okay. Looks like it's gonna be another by the numbers thing. And from what I'm hearing, it's by the numbers.
Yep. But I've often spoken about my goal to watch as many 2021 released films as I can, regardless of service or theater release or where I can find them. I'm gonna fucking sit down and do the work because it's a personal goal for me. So Without Remorse was one of those films I just had to watch. And I knew it was never gonna be like a a full episode topic for this show. It just didn't have that vibe. But I figured I could mention it.
Not when it's like part of with the one we are talking about. But yeah, you know what? I'll be here to support you on your journey, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And if I hadn't made this goal, I wouldn't have watched the next film, which I fucking loved, The Mitchells versus the Machines on Netflix. I remember seeing the preview to this like a year and a half ago when the film was called Connected. And I remember thinking like, that looks okay. And then it just left my mind. But then the trailer came back again and it was called The Mitchells versus the Machines. And it's a Netflix release. And, the plan. So I watched it and I got drawn in immediately. This is a beautiful animated film, a hilarious movie, and just great vocal performances from everybody. Olivia Colman's the bad guy. I mean, come on. And it's a robot apocalypse where this one dysfunctional family are the only humans who don't get captured. So they're the ones who have to save the world. And it's funny as hell. I loved it. It's Danny McBride and Maya Rudolph are the parents. And
Danny McBride?
He's the dad.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Rick Mitchell. It's so funny.
He still seen anything he's in. This was the one I was kind of mad at myself. I did not have time to sit down and watch before we recorded. So I was trying to watch this one because of the people who made it. Phil Lord and Chris Miller, I believe. Yeah. I have loved their prior animated fare. When it comes to the Lego Movie and Into the Spider-Verse, they're fucking. I think they just produced Into the Spider-Verse. They
just produced this too.
Yeah. Okay. But generally, I've noticed when their name attached, and I think they also produced the Jump Street movies.
They did, yeah.
Yeah. So far, when it comes to like comedy and what they've been attached to, I have loved. They know how to do this like weird blend of high energy, zany, over the top, throwing as much shit as they can at you, and yet it stays coherent and hilarious. I don't know how they do it, but they pull it off. And I heard that they actually, just like with Into the Spider-Verse, they play with animation styles a lot in this movie. And it's somehow they still pull it. I don't know what they're on. They keep pulling this off, but they're doing something right.
Eric Andre is in it. He plays like a software developer, and you get to see him get kicked in the balls real hard by a robot, and it's so out of the blue and hilarious. And it's the comedic timing is fucking brilliant. I was so surprised at how funny this was. It's a family comedy. It's PG, but it is hilarious. And I definitely recommend checking this out to everybody who wants to laugh for a bit. It's great.
This is one that, okay, this is high up my list. I do really want to see this. Once I saw those two names, I was like, oh, I want to see this. I just love what those guys do. They are fucking perfect.
I like this plan of mine because I'm getting to see a lot of films I otherwise would have just kind of thrown aside. And I'm just, I knew Separation was going to suck, but I went in anyway. I knew Without Remorse was going to be dull, but I went in anyway. But Mitchells versus the Machines, I didn't really know anything about it, and I was very surprised. So, it's sifting for gold again. I found some.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes it's the ones you don't expect that surprise you. And I know what you mean, honestly. Like, I know what you mean with wanting to see everything this year. Because I do generally, like, every year try to see as much horror films as I can. Like, that's my personal every year. Like, okay, watch as much horror.
No.
in a regular non-COVID year. If it's something like Separation or Unholy, I wait until I can stream it. Cause I'm like, I don't want to pay money to sit through what looks like a massive piece of shit.
Yep.
But sometimes circumstances are different. I am going to see it, but
Well, and I have to, make content for this show. So I got to see shit regardless of the reviews.
Honestly, if anything, this gives me more reason to finally go. God, when the dump months begin again, to sit through those movies in theaters now.
This is May. Like, we should be getting better shit than this.
Yeah, we also are still on the tail end of a pandemic. So,
yeah, but we've gotten good movies during the pandemic and in the past few months. So there's no excuse for. I'm not letting people use the pandemic as an excuse for making a piece of shit film.
Look, man, there's a pandemic. All right.
Yeah, is part of the symptoms you not being able to write well? Is that part of it?
Probably.
God. So, on to the main event. Mortal Kombat, or as the 90s movie says, Mortal Kombat! We can't just leave that. Oh, so I'm curious. What's your Mortal Kombat journey? How did you get involved with the games?
My journey. So I have not been as hardcore into the games as most.
Okay.
I was always aware of them growing up. I was very aware of that original like 3 or 4 games. I actually probably would say when I started playing was when it kind of got rebooted and brought back when Mortal Kombat 9 came out. I remember seeing like that came out and it just like it blew up again. It became like the forefront of fighting games again. And I would play it and really enjoy it. I mean, obviously it was a very updated one, so the graphics were cleaner. The fatalities in turn were a lot more brutal and gory because of it. And it's fun. It is such a fun game. I know there's lore attached to it if you play the story, but I'm not really here for the lore. Um, it's fun, and it's one of those that like I actually don't have a copy currently sitting in my house, but I will always be down to play. I'm not great at it, but I do enjoy playing the shit out of it.
Right on. Yeah, these are fun as hell. I know a lot of people, I think it was back when it became NetherRealm Studios behind the games, and that's when it got like a lot more like fans kind of flocked to it. I've been into Mortal Kombat for quite a long time. I saw the 95 movie first before I ever played the games and thought, this is weird, but I like that song. My mom and dad were big fans because back in 95, they left me with my grandparents, got stoned as fuck, and went and saw Mortal Kombat and thought, this is amazing. And have often told me that story. As a kid on PS2, I had Mortal Kombat Deception, which I played the campaign, and it's like an actual story mode where you like roam around different worlds and have to do tasks and shit. And that was pretty fun. I never finished it because it was really hard, and I got Mortal Kombat Armageddon, which was way better. That one has like the biggest roster. I think it's every character they've ever done is in Armageddon. You can play, you can create your own characters. I made like Ghost Rider and the Terminator and shit. It's really cool.
God damn.
PS2, so the graphics aren't great, but it is maybe the best. It's my favorite Mortal Kombat game by far.
Okay.
Yeah, so much fun.
No, yeah, like I said, I haven't. Unfortunately, I've never actually owned a copy. I've always just played at friends' houses, but it was always something I enjoyed. Like anytime they're like, "Hey, you want to play Mortal Kombat?"
Yeah, it's fun. I had I bought Mortal Kombat 9 used for like $5 because I don't pay full price for video games anymore. I haven't for a long time. $60 is ridiculous to pay for anything, in my opinion, unless it's like fucking furniture. Anyway.
All right, hot take.
I found out later there was like an ultimate edition where Freddy Krueger is a playable character, and I was like, fuck, I don't have that one. And then later on, they kept doing that in the later games. Like in Mortal Kombat 10, they put in like Leatherface, Jason,
Predator,
Alien. I think in 11 they did like the Terminator, Rambo. Like shit got crazy.
Yeah, I think they've added like a shit ton to like 11's roster.
I want to play 11, but again, I will not pay full price. I'm like Mac at the Italian market. I will not pay full price. Always throwing out It's Always Sunny reference on these shows.
I always appreciate an Always Sunny reference.
I think about that all the time.
I might look into getting 11 when I told you earlier I pre-ordered the new Resident Evil. So when I do go to GameStop, I pick up my copy. I might see about picking up 11 for my PlayStation.
See, I don't buy DLC either. I'm a loophole guy when it comes to video games. I will wait until they release like a complete edition with a K and get all the the Rambo and the Terminator, all the downloadable characters and costumes and shit already there, so I can play then. Because I don't. Yeah, that's how I did Injustice.
No, I'm with you. It's only against the point with gaming. It's like better just to wait until all the DLCs come out. Because anytime I get like, do you want Season Pass? No, I don't. I just want the game, the full complete game that I was paying $60 on. Just give me that.
Yeah. I hate to sound like an old fuck, but back in my day, when you paid $60 for a game, you got 100% of the game, and you unlocked shit through skill. These days, you pay $60, $70, you get 30% of the game, and you got to buy more as you go along. That is some horse shit.
I have yet to buy more. I literally will pay the $60, $70, beat the campaign, and go, all right, cool, next game.
Me too.
No, it's time for me to move on.
Yeah, it's a fucking racket. I don't get it. I don't know why people are willing to just keep giving companies money like this.
Hardcore gamers, man. There are people that look at me like, did you really buy a second Friday 13 box set? Yes, I did. But so I can't say much. There are hardcore gamers that do stuff like that. So
yeah, it's everyone's got their thing. Just video games aren't mine. I'll play what I like and then move on. So a new Mortal Kombat had been in development for over 20 years. The original 95 film was a decent hit. Let's talk about that one for a bit. Paul W.S. Anderson's Mortal Kombat, the supremely watered down PG-13 95 adventure that was not ready for the special effects it had to go with. I mean, it looks like a fucking screensaver. But it's a fun movie. I won't deny that.
Yeah, I watched for this episode. I watched the first two movies to get prepared, and yeah, it's a fun movie. It's not. It's like both faithful but not faithful, which is weird because it's faithful in that like the characters do look like for the time that those games were coming out. At that time, they look like their characters. They feel like their characters. Actors do a really good job. The lore is there. Well, minus like Scorpion's weird voice, which I'm not going to be too insulting because I know that Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat, did that voice. But
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Like there's a lot that is surprisingly for Paul W.S. Anderson video game adaptation, which is its own fucking genre apparently.
Yeah.
There's a lot he surprisingly does right with this movie, and it is fun and it cuts to the point. It does not take long to get to the actual tournament and just start fighting, so that part's good. But what it still kind of bugs me that and this I guess a fun fact, Mortal Kombat the game is why we even have the M rating in video games.
I read that in your review. I was really surprised at that.
Yeah, it invented that rating because people were like, holy fuck, what is with all this violence? Like the parents, So they came up with that rating to be like, okay, look, this is, essentially an R-rated game. So to have a game, that franchise, have that legacy attached to your game franchise, and the movie adaptation, they're like PG-13. Like, no, like, just make it R. And also, like, that and the other thing is, and the sequel is also sinful of this. I'm all about like the actor, right? She's ever good for the part. Raiden is an Asian character in the fucking games. Why? In God's good name, did they just find two of the whitest actors in the first two movies?
Yeah,
Raiden.
that's mm,
I like look. Don't give me only one. I like Lambert in Highlander.
nice. Very nice.
Thank you. But god damn it, like no, I don't want to mess with. He does do good. Like he commits. I'll give him that. His performance is fine. You couldn't find anyone else because the rest of the cast is fucking diverse as shit. I don't know why that was the one when they went, nope.
It's a diverse cast of terrible actors. Like God. I think they should have cast, like they did in the new one, some martial artists, some stunt people to actually do some decent fights. Because like Sonya versus Kano, no way in hell Kano loses that fight. Like,
no,
it's so obvious that she's like barely trying.
especially because the guy that got play Kano looked pretty jacked.
I think he died like in 03 of an overdose. Like the Kano we got in the new one is like the only Kano still alive in like any movie. It's weird. Like Kanos keep dying.
You mean the one that apparently broke his back carrying the weight of the movie? Yeah, I've seen those memes on Facebook.
Want to get a pen? Want to write this down? Get fucked. He was fucking beautiful. Beautiful.
When she stabs him, like, what the fuck? That's my fucking knife.
Goddamn. So 95 95 Mortal Kombat. I think, the guy who plays Shang Tsung did a decent job. Goro was, they did what they could with Goro.
Yeah. They made it work, and it's not bad. It's
at
least it's practical, so it's aged well. I'll say that much.
That's true, but there's no way in hell Johnny Cage beats Goro that easily. Well, that was ridiculous.
He kicked him in the nuts. Come on.
Yeah, but then he just kind of like lulls him outside, and it was weird. He just kind of fell into the void.
I also thought it was weird when like first like Scorpion says his line, "Get over here," but then he kept saying shit.
Welcome
Get down here. I was like, stop talking, stop it.
And the costumes are so fucking lazy. It's just they just put a ninja mask and dyed the same coat, two different colors. Look, Scorpion and Sub-Zero has no personality at all. It's
I know, but again, if you look at the original, like the games at that time, it's damn near what they looked like in the games.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I can't fault it too much when it actually looks pretty spot on to the games at that time. You have to remember the context.
I know. All right. Yes. All right. I take that back. I will, however, leave in the fact that they have no personality.
I'll give you that. I will give you that, especially compared to the guys playing it. But again, we'll get into the new one here in a minute.
Also, why is Katana there if she is not going to do anything?
Just to throw a goddamn character into the movie.
Apparently. I did like the scene where like Reptile gets like absorbed by the statue in Outworld and becomes like Reptile the fighter and fights Liu Kang, and he gets to do the bicycle kick. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. I'm glad they kept the bicycle kick in.
And of course, like the star of this film is the fucking music. It is pure mid-90s techno crazy shit.
The moment I hit play and all I hear is Mortal Kombat. Dun, 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 dun. I was like, okay, look, you know what? Goddamn nailed it with this song.
We have an outdoor screen at my family's house. We have a projector and an outdoor screen we put on the garage that looks beautiful, so we can watch like projected movies outside. And my dad was visiting us about a month ago, and I don't know. I think it was because the new one was coming out, but we all decided Mortal Kombat is what we wanted to watch outside, the 90s one. So like we have to, switch. We have to work with the music, tune it just right so it's not blasting across our neighborhood. But I guess we didn't tune it correctly because you know how that movie opens with New Line Cinema and then Mortal Kombat. Like I screamed. So we got that blasted across the fucking neighborhood, and it was beautiful.
or laughed if like your neighbors just came out and was like, "You guys watching Mortal Kombat?" And they just sat down.
That would be awesome.
Because admittedly, when I was like watching this, I noticed this film has a massive cult following.
Yeah.
Like massive. Like I did not realize how many people love this movie.
Well, it's nothing compared to the amount of people who fucking hate 1997's Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the one and only sequel that derailed this franchise for over 2 decades. I've seen this once, like 10 years ago, and it is, oh my God, is it bad?
I saw it a couple of days ago.
How is it?
Oh my God. First off, we get everyone's recast except like 2 actors.
Yeah.
And none of them are even remotely as good. Somehow. I've never watched a movie which just throws character after character after character after character after character. Goes, oh shit, plot? Fuck it. Character after character after character at you. And I'm sitting there going, where's the plot? What are we? I got lost. It was like watching a fucking Michael Bay movie, like the newest Transformers. I'm sitting there going, what the fuck is going on? And then there's so many times with the CGI where you can clearly tell that they rotoscoped the actor because the background is clearly fake, and then you can see the fucking lines, the computer generated lines to separate the actor. And I'm like, oh my God, you could not take the time to make this even look real.
No, it was rushed. It was, conveyor belted. Like they said, Mortal Kombat was a hit. So clearly what people want is more Mortal Kombat. So shove everything in. And
I mean,
yeah,
we did want more. They did want more Mortal Kombat, but we wanted another good movie.
Yeah.
Not
I remember Brian Thompson as Shao Kahn. I remember him. I'm a big X-Files fan, so I like Brian Thompson, and I'm a Joe Dirt fan. So yeah, I like Brian Thompson, but he was like, Shao Kahn is supposed to be this, super ancient emperor badass that everyone's fucking afraid of, and he just looked ridiculous in that helmet that did not fit his head.
Dude, at one point, the whole thing with Jax, right? He has robotic arms because he doesn't have fucking arms.
Yeah, and in that he's like wearing like robot sleeves.
I'm gonna say at one point, and they get ripped off him, and he's still using his arm. I was like, "Is this like? Did you just forget to take out his arm? Like, what the fuck's going on?"
There's a whole like, don't worry, Jax. The real robot arms were inside you all along. Like they fucking do that. I remember that.
As soon as I saw that, I had to rewind. I was like, "There's no way. There's no way in hell." No, holy shit. They meant this. They meant to do this. This is not an accident. Fuck.
I remember Nightwolf popping up at one point. I remember Sindel having that, like, people have called it the worst line of dialogue in movie history. The whole like, "Mother, you're alive," and she goes, "Too bad you will die." Like, it's a meme at this point.
Oh yeah, Nightwolf pops up literally to show off his animality, which looks atrocious, and it's awful CGI. And then he disappears for the rest of the movie. He is gone.
Robin Show must have really had no choice. Like, what happened to that guy? He was in Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, Beverly Hills Ninja, and then he fucking bounced.
It's probably because of those last 2 movies you named.
Yeah, probably. I think I answered my own question. I also hated how Johnny Cage is so unceremoniously murdered at the beginning of the movie.
I don't like, they know that he's like a fan favorite, and they're just like, and he's dead.
And the first guy wouldn't even show up just to die 2 minutes into the movie. They had to recast him for that scene. It's ridiculous. It's a terrible movie. It's one of the worst movies ever made.
God, it's almost like all these actors pulled a page out of the Keanu Reeves book and read that script and went, "Well, you know what? I'm not doing this sequel." That was a Speed 2 reference for those who did not get that.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking like Keanu has done A lot of sequels. What did he
Nope.
turn down?
He
Speed
turned
2.
down. Yeah, he was smart enough to turn down Speed 2. I'm saying that's my reference. That's what they pulled. Like, oh God, no.
That makes sense. You know, Roger Ebert fucking loved Speed 2. I'll never understand that.
Yeah, he shits on like half of the 80s horror films, but Speed 2 was a class act to him.
Yeah, I think he gave it like 3.5, if not 4 stars. I don't know. Maybe he was high.
He had
So when James Wan signed on to produce a remake in 2015, there was finally light at the end of this tunnel. Coupled with an R rating and a cast and crew who were fans of the game franchise, we got a new Mortal Kombat that was finally an awesome movie. And this is going to be the definitive Mortal Kombat movie. I mean, holy shit, did they pull out all the stops, but they didn't go too big. They went just enough.
Yeah, and it's funny because I've seen online like a lot of fans are like, I didn't really think this Mortal Kombat was that good. I thought, I'm like, what more did you want? I'm like, first off, the lore you guys are talking about, the story you're talking about, the games has never been the biggest focus of the fucking games. Like these games, it's a fighting game franchise. It's meant for you to fight people. And this movie to me completely aced the tone of the current iteration of the games, the look of the characters, how they look now, the gore. God, the gore.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah, seeing the brutality, seeing the fucking signature moves, like this movie to me just nailed it.
Hell yeah. Could not have said it better myself. So Simon McCoy was hired to direct, and this is the only thing he's ever done. For a complete novice, he did a damn good job. Like, this is it in his entire filmography. Actor, producer, director, writer, anything. It's this. Yeah. And that shows to me, like, they really did not have much faith. Like, they just hired some schmo to do this.
Yeah, which surprised me. You would think, like, when by the time James Wan had signed on to this man to produce, he had clout. Like, he wasn't just the guy making this weird movie in a bathroom.
Now, this is post-Conjuring, James Wan.
Yeah, he's had a Saw franchise, he's had an Insidious franchise, and now Conjuring. Like, he's had a triple threat here. And yet they were still like, we don't know.
God, I hate those assholes. We all know who we're talking about. Louis Tan stars as Cole Young, a washed-up MMA fighter who was chosen to be one of Earth's champions. Tan does all his own fight choreography and got his start playing background thugs in movies like Olympus Has Fallen and The Hangover Part 3. He also briefly played Shatterstar in Deadpool 2 and appeared in the AMC series Into the Badlands. And while I was hesitant about, putting in an original character who didn't have a game reference, I thought this guy was pretty good.
Yeah, he worked for me. To me, like I was hesitant. I was like, you guys could have used like any of the game, like those hundreds of characters at this point. But again, just like the games, right? They're always adding new characters. Why not? Let's get in the spirit and add a new character for the movie. And honestly, yeah, and honestly, like I know a lot of people were like, "Well, where's Johnny Cage?" I can see now we'll get to his character in a minute, but with Kano and how charismatic he was. I think it worked not having Johnny Cage, and that would have just been two fucking the almost same type of characters competing for screen time. So I think with having him, it balanced out, and it gave us someone, especially if you don't play the games, someone to identify with this character.
Yeah. And it gave us something to look forward to in the sequel for fans to be like, oh, okay, Johnny Cage is coming next time.
Yeah.
Jessica McNamee plays Sonya Blade, who brings together Earth's champions, but is not chosen herself, at least not at first. McNamee has appeared in such films as The Meg, Battle of the Sexes, and Chips. And Sonya is interesting in this. I feel like she's a lot more approachable than she was in the 95 movie. But also her motivations are a little vague here of like why she's bringing together Earth's champions if she was not chosen herself.
Yeah, they don't do a great job of really like giving her clear motivations. I will say I like you, I was happy that she wasn't so fucking obsessed with
getting that and like
was the original movie.
Well, and like she was likable. Like that was big. Yeah. I've never liked Bridget Wilson. I've always thought she was just kind of mean. The Mortal Kombat and Billy Madison both kind of did that to me, where I'm like, she's not a very nice person. I like this Sonya better.
Yeah, no, I liked her. I thought she did a good job. So,
yeah. Josh Lawson plays Kano, a sarcastic mercenary who betrays Earth and joins Outworld's warriors. Lawson was actually nominated for an Oscar for Best Live Action Short Film for 2016's The 11 O'Clock. Lawson has also appeared in such films as Anchorman 2, Bombshell, The Campaign, and The Little Death, which he also wrote and directed. So he's a very accomplished filmmaker who just wanted to play Kano for a little bit.
All right, you know what? I'm glad he did because he fucking steals the show. He is so great in this movie.
Kano wins, you fucking beauty. Like it's perfect. He was so good, funny as hell. You knew from the beginning he was going to be a bad guy.
Oh like yeah, he's like a bad guy, but he was cracking me up the whole movie. Now hold on, man. How do you get that shit out of your hands, man?
Am I gonna get superpowers? Like, just for me, the scene that had me laughing the hardest was when he called Kung Lao Kung Pao, because it was so mean.
I like when Kung Lao was like, "I am Kung Lao." Never heard of you, mate. Completely deflates it.
I love the idea that Earth champions are chosen at random by the dragon emblem, and you can actually, like, if you kill them, you take their place. And Kano just killed some unlucky fucker and became Earth's champion. I thought that was brilliant. So good.
I like when he's doing the little fight thing, and the guy, Liu Kang, keeps like kicking him down to the ground. Does that little low kick, and he's like, "I swear to God, you do it again!" And like he jumps up and still gets him.
My God. Yeah, he was so well cast. He was easily my favorite character. And from what I've been reading, he's everyone's favorite character. He was just funny as hell. Yeah, great improvement over the dude who played him in 95. Who was very much just like vague mercenary bad guy with a fake robot eye.
Yeah, no, he landed. I know the guys who were next to me are COVID next to me, if you will, because the whole seat next to me was empty. Yeah, I could hear them laughing their ass off anytime he said something. And they're pretty much like the rest of the audience. Like, even you could tell people that may not have been into it, they were laughing their ass off anytime he said something. He was great. Stole the show.
Oh, by far. I know he's dead, but I want him to come back in the sequels just randomly. I don't see how, but whatever.
If he doesn't, hopefully Johnny Cage picks up the slack.
Be the same guy, same actor, and just never address it. Like his twin brother went to Hollywood or some shit. Joe Taslim plays Bihan, the Lin Kuei assassin who becomes Sub-Zero. Taslim played Jaka in The Raid, which we talked about at length on a recent Filmgazm podcast, and has also appeared in Star Trek Beyond and Fast and Furious 6. And this guy exceeded my fucking expectations as Sub-Zero.
Oh, he was my second favorite character by far.
The whole like background feud between him and Scorpion that's going on around the movie and culminates in that epic fight at the end. Oh, so well done.
To me, the reason to me that these two stand out so much, and I'm not saying this is not digging any other actors because it's just how they chose to play these characters. You could tell these guys are clearly fans of the game and fans of those characters, and it was just shining through. There was moments towards the end of the movie that Joe Taslim does things with his fucking eyes as Sub-Zero that he doesn't even have to speak. His eyes do the talking for you. Like the whole when he does his knife and he dodges it towards the end of the movie, and he does that fucking look at him. Like he knows, like, I know what you're going to do, asshole. I'm going to dodge it this time.
Oh yeah. Goddamn. Yeah. I'm so happy we got like a proper Mortal Kombat, and we have this forever to just enjoy. It feels good.
It feels good when we get something made by people who are fans of the fucking source material.
Damn straight, on every level. Video games, books, TV. We need people who give a fuck to make something good. That's not a crazy idea to me.
It's not, because then we get movies like this.
Mehcad Brooks plays Jax, metal-armed special ops badass. Brooks is known for playing James Olsen on Supergirl. And he's also had recurring roles on the TV shows Desperate Housewives and True Blood. And he was great as Jax, who actually got his fucking arms blasted off and got, proper robot arms. Boom.
Yeah. He surprised me because I've been watching Supergirl, so when I heard he got cast, I was like, really him? I was
kind of
he was not someone I envisioned, but then when I saw the movie, I was like, okay, yeah, he's nailing it. Yeah. Actually, did you know when the trailer came out, like that kick-ass Red Band trailer that I watched like 100 times, the scene when you see him lose his arms, apparently people were getting on going, why would they put a spoiler in the trailer? And everyone's like replying back like, hey, if you play the games, that's not a spoiler.
Oh my sweet dear Lord. Like, oh, I hate people so much.
Yeah. I was like, it's not a spoiler. Like, Jax has robot arms in the games. Like,
everyone just loves to bitch. Yeah, I thought he was cool. I liked that his like Arcana was better robot arms. It was cheesy, but neat.
It was. And you know what? I did like the Kano jokes he was making at him. But he was like, oh, I'm keeping these motherfuckers.
I love when Kano freaks out at Kung Lao, who calls him a coward, and is like, he gets his power and it's the laser, and he's like, completely goes like, I got fucking laser. Like he just starts praising his superpowers, completely forgets the conversation.
It's better than fire hands, pussy.
Jesus Christ. I wondered how much of his like random riffing was ad-libbed.
I hope a lot.
I hope so too.
Give me a fucking egg roll.
Oh my God.
I just saw that movie advertised on my TV too.
Tadanobu Asano plays Lord Raiden, god of thunder and lightning and Earth's protector. Asano is best known for his role as Hogun the Grim, Asgardian warrior in all three of Marvel's Thor films. And he also played Genghis Khan in the 2007 film Mongol. And he was fucking great as Raiden. This is the Raiden I always wanted, a super powered badass, super powered Asian badass who knows exactly what what must be done.
You know what? Third time's the charm. We finally got a good goddamn Raiden.
Yeah. Who isn't, the Highlander or Dexter's dad. Like we gotta go to one.
Yeah. Or not just Dexter's dad, but currently starring on Black Lightning's another Arrowverse actor.
Yeah. Or, Commissioner Gordon's uncle for that brief arc in Gotham.
Oh yeah. 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 We finally got a fucking Raiden. And yeah, I liked him a lot. He was good.
Oh yeah. This film was remarkably well cast. Chin Han plays the sorcerer Shang Tsung. Han has appeared in such films as The Dark Knight, Contagion, Skyscraper, Ghost in the Shell, and Captain America: The Winter Soldier, as well as the Netflix series Marco Polo. And I did like his performance. I was hoping for more Shang Tsung. I thought he was a little sparse, but Chin Han did a good job, and I'm looking forward to seeing him again.
Yes, I agree. I completely disagree with the goddamn critics online that were like, we really feel like, he did good in Dark Knight, but we don't feel like he really is believable as Shang Tsung. I'm like, you guys realize he's a fucking actor, right? Like his job, his whole purpose in life for work is to act. How about you give him a chance? You make this movie successful, and maybe we'll see what he brings to the table in a Mortal Kombat 2.
I was reading a review on Letterboxd, and somebody had it was pretentious as hell, equating Mortal Kombat to it doesn't match the ethereal quality of films from the from the classic era. And somebody posted shut the fuck up. Why are you using phrases like vis-a-vis in a review about Mortal Kombat? Just get the fuck out of here.
Dude, this movie, if I may, I have never seen such a disconnect between people who either went in thinking this was going to be some high art movie, even though it's called Mortal Kombat and it's combat's misspelled.
I love that they point that out too.
Yeah. It's not even spelled right. and then like people who apparently didn't like in this Eyzaguirre was like that didn't seem to be that into the games, did not enjoy this movie. They were like, yeah, but I like it was a weird disconnect. We were seeing like people thought it was gonna be more than what it was. I'm like, it's a fucking video game movie based off Mortal Kombat, a fighting game with okay lore at best. Like, yeah. What did you want? Like, what were you expecting?
You can't please some people. Some people just love to be a victim, but love to complain. It's their lot in life. This is a fun movie made by people who love to make it. What more do you want?
Yeah, it's just like the whole thing we talked about Godzilla versus Kong. The human characters, who gives a fuck? I didn't pay to see them. I paid to see the title characters.
I'm here to watch Kung Lao ride Nitara like a fucking surfboard into a buzzsaw, and I got it.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Kung Lao wins. Flawless victory. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand sometimes when people go into these movies. It's like, did you go in not knowing, or like go into a movie and pull anyone? You go into a movie, make sure your expectations are appropriate for the movie you're watching.
This is why trailers are so important. That's why they are there, to tell you this is the kind of movie that you are going to see. Do you want to see this movie? No? Then fuck off. Yes? Come on in. Yeah. That's the point of a trailer. Mortal Kombat's trailer could not have been more clear about what kind of film it is.
Who watched that Red Man and go, God, this looks like Oscar-winning material right here?
Some prick. God. Hiroyuki Sanada plays Hanzo Hasashi, the legendary warrior who rises from hell to become Scorpion. Sanada has appeared in such films as The Wolverine, Sunshine, Life, 47 Ronin, and Avengers Endgame. He's set to appear in Zack Snyder's new zombie film Army of the Dead as well. And I was so fucking psyched when he got cast as Scorpion. And he delivered. Holy shit, did he deliver? Just the opening scene where he's just fucking up these Lin Kuei warriors. And then at the end, when he pops up, the epic, get over here, and he pulls Sub-Zero off his ancestor. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, which thank God they fixed that dialogue. That was my only complaint in the trailer. I was like, God, you guys got to scrub or something that get over here because it does not sound good. Yeah. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh, they fixed it. Hell yeah.
That was the symbiote of the Mortal Kombat trailer. And they heard you.
I heard, thank God. Because as soon as we'll get to when we talk about that awesome scene. But yeah, as soon as I heard the get over here, I was like, they fixed it. Yes.
I know. I remember thinking like, oh, Caleb's going to enjoy that. I did think it's funny that that's the only thing the character says in English in the whole movie. But I don't care. At that point, I was just like, fuck him up.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about seeing that, but the way they did that, I did not care. I was so fucking like, yes, let's do this.
Ludi Lin plays Liu Kang, one of Earth's champions. Lin has appeared in such films as Aquaman, Power Rangers, and an episode of Black Mirror. He was apparently a massive Mortal Kombat fan, and this was a dream come true, getting to play Liu Kang. And I thought he did a great job.
Oh yeah, he delivered. We mentioned that line earlier when he says like Luke, flawless victory. Like when you get these moments when they're clearly saying lines from the game, it can come off either incredibly cheesy or cool as shit. And it really depends on how much they are fans and are excited for these moments. He pulled that line, like when he went flawless victory, like everything he said and did was exactly out of the fucking game. And you could tell this guy's a fan. Like he wants to be here and he loves what he's doing right now.
Oh, yeah. There were a lot of those moments, especially between Liu Kang and Kung Lao. And Max Huang plays Kung Lao, another of Earth's champions. Huang is known mostly for stunt work. He did stunt work for films such as Kingsman, Hitman Agent 47, The Foreigner, and Dragon Blade, among others. And he probably does his own choreography here, and he's great. It was a shame to see him get killed by Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
But it gave Liu Kang something to fight for.
Yeah. I was sad to see him. I was like, oh no. But yeah. And unfortunately they're going to kill some characters off.
It's Mortal Kombat. Yeah. Like what part of that don't you understand?
Yeah. They're going to kill characters off. We won't always enjoy it, but they have to.
Reminds me of Balls of Fury when Fang kills like one of the ping pong players, the dart, and Randy's like, "What did you do?" And he's like, "What part of sudden death didn't you understand?" Like, just yeah, another movie that's influenced by Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
I fucking love Balls of Fury. That movie is so horribly reviewed, but it's one of the funniest damn movies I've ever seen.
I haven't seen it in forever. I remember honestly thinking it was funny when I saw it. I just haven't watched it in years.
It's great. Enter the Dragon with fucking ping pong. Beautiful. CC Stringer plays Melina, a vampiric assassin of Outworld. Stringer also appeared in the recent remake of Children of the Corn that nobody knew about or saw.
There was a remake of Children of the Corn.
Yeah, 2020, there was a remake, a very soft remake of Children of the Corn that got no attention and has not been distributed. So it's just there.
All right.
Yep.
Let's go back to Mortal Kombat. That was weird.
Finally, Damon Harriman is the voice of Cabal, another of Outworld's assassins. Harriman played Charles Manson in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and in an episode of Netflix's Mindhunter.
Oh, shit, that was him?
The voice of Cabal is fucking Manson from Mindhunter.
Did you hear they're probably talking about a third season?
I heard, yeah, talks are back. That's fantastic. I hope it works out.
Same. After those 2 seasons, I need a third season. God damn it, I need a third season.
One of the best fucking shows I've ever watched. I don't usually binge. I like to savor, but I binged that big time.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't stop watching that damn show.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat has an IMDb score of 6.3 and a Rotten Tomatoes score of 54%. Despite a lukewarm critics reception, fans have gone apeshit over this movie and are proclaiming it a hit. It's so far grossed about $66 million on its $55 million budget. It's COVID times. We got to be out. We got to be realistic here, and that's not bad.
No, and hey, look, as long as we get Mortal Kombat 2 and 3, like they've been talking about, I'll be happy. I'm glad fans are embracing it. This movie's awesome. This movie's just fucking awesome.
Well, Joe Taslim apparently signed on for 4 films, so we're gonna get a lot of Mortal Kombat.
I am down. Again, he is fucking great. You can, like anyone else, you can tell he loves Sub-Zero, and it shows in his performance. I'm down.
That's so cool. Like just
isn't it amazing when you see actors play characters that they love to play and how great the performance comes out?
Yeah, like like you see that in Marvel and Star Wars a lot, but to see it in Mortal Kombat is extra special.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some highlights of the film, some scenes we liked. I thought the opening was brilliant. Just 1600s Japan with Hasashi just there and avenging his family with the fucking like long spear thing. I don't know what that's called, but great fight sequence.
Yeah, and sets the stage, man. Like when they're in the house, right, and you hear the commotion outside, and you just see the fucking sword go through with the blood, and sets the tone right there. Again, Joe Taslim, before you actually even see him fight, gives a very creepy performance in that scene when he's asking like, "Where's Hanzo?"
Yeah, it was cool to see kind of the origins of Sub-Zero and Scorpion's feud. That they're both hundreds of years old expert fighters who have so much hate in their heart that it won't let them die. Like that is so cool. And just Scorpion like suffering in hell for hundreds of years and finally coming free to save his ancestor. Holy shit, man. Like just learning to control the fires of hell. The very concept like makes me freak the fuck out. That's so cool.
It's dude, it's fucking great. And yeah, dude, that opening fight scene when he's taking out the guards and he like ties the rope to make his signature fucking weapon. And you see him using it, and then you just see Sub-Zero standing there like waiting his turn. Like, yeah, when you're doing my guys, I'll be here, bro. I'll wait. I want you one-on-one.
Oh yeah. So cool.
Yeah, like I said, that when he throws it right and hits the tree and Sub-Zero dodges it, and then he doesn't think and it scratches him. You can't see him like, what the fuck?
Ugh. Yeah, sets the stage. I love that in Scorpion's theme is a little bit of the 90s Mortal Kombat song. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I like how they, I know a lot of fans were like, what was the theme song? Again, it's not necessarily a remake of the original film, it's a new take on the video game series. So the theme song, I like how they used it, I like how they put it in.
Personally, I thought the kind of remix new version at the end credits was just fine. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Kind of an updated version. Sounded, had a little bit of, homage to the other song, but stood on its own.
Yeah, and I think people forget like this one wasn't meant to be as goofy, so the theme song you want so badly would not have worked as well in this movie.
No, but we still get, Mortal Kombat. Like we're never getting away from that.
Oh no, it's staying forever.
Oh boy. What'd you think of Goro in this movie?
I thought he worked fine. I know I read in an interview that they were very hesitant about how much of him they wanted to use because he was CGI.
Yeah.
They didn't want to overdo it. They were like, we really want to put Goro in the movie, but how much was what they were figuring out because of CGI. And I think how they used him with the budget they had, it was only $55 million.
Yeah,
it worked fine. He looked really good, and I thought the fight scene between him and Cole was awesome.
I don't know. I think they should have saved Goro for the sequels. I think that there's no way Cole ever would have beaten Goro like that. Like it was just, this guy was, inexperienced and really not really prepared for that. And Goro's a fucking force of nature. And it just didn't seem like a believable outcome.
Yeah, but there was the implication that some of these characters we saw dead on the bad guy side at least might be coming back.
That's true.
More than just implication with Joe Taslim, because he confirmed he'd sign off for movies. He kind of put the cat out of the bag on that one.
That's true. That means that no matter how many times Sub-Zero dies, he is coming back.
Yeah. Granted, I mean, if you watch the movie and you see that he's lived for 100 years, you kind of go, okay, he's probably not going to die. Like, he has something.
And Scorpion is very much going to, pop out of hell when he is needed.
Yeah.
Which is pretty bitchin'. I love that he's kind of an anti-hero. I like that. I grew up thinking Scorpion was a, purebred bad guy because of the movie from the 90s, but no, he's more of a, his own, he's kind of a soldier of fortune.
Yeah.
He goes where he feels he's needed. It's kind of badass. And they thought they did justice to him very well.
No, they did complete justice to both him and Sub-Zero. But yeah, Goro might come back for a sequel and we get to see more of him. I thought his usage in the movie was not bad. I thought it was fine.
It was neat. It was just, I think that Cole beating him was a little too much to swallow.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, like that whole kind of end part with Cole, honestly, I was kind of scared on where they were going with that. I thought for a minute, I was like, do not make Cole Scorpion. For the love of God, don't make him.
I thought that's where they were going with that too.
Yeah, I was like, look, you have me on board movie. You will lose me if you make him Scorpion. I'm not down for it.
Thankfully, it's not what they did.
Oh, no. We'll get to that scene in a minute because that was not one of my favorite scenes, but I kind of want to save that for last.
What I thought was going to happen towards the end is Cole, like you said, like, I'm going to Hollywood. I thought he was going to, like, adopt the stage name of Johnny Cage, and he was going to be Johnny Cage.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. But I don't think that they're going to do that either. Cole's an original character.
No, apparently fans want, Ryan Reynolds, which is probably not going to happen.
I don't know. He kind of does. He moves to the beat of his own drum. It could happen.
That's true.
If he's a fan, it could happen.
He's a thing that exists in Hollywood, and we just love it.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds does his own fucking thing, and I'm okay with that.
Isn't it amazing how, like, when Deadpool came out, he pretty much got, like, carte blanche for the rest of his career?
Beautiful. And he had so many failures up to that point. Like, the fact that he was ever able to actually do Deadpool is a miracle.
Yeah. Because he leaked the footage that he will not confirm or deny, but pretty much confirmed.
Both those films are fucking great. I can't wait to see Deadpool 3 as an R-rated MCU film.
Oh, I was so happy. Well, I love they even said, like, look, this is it. This is the only one we're doing. So it's like, We get it. We're not going to change this for you guys. You want your R-rated Deadpool? We're giving you your R-rated Deadpool.
God bless Kevin Feige. No producer in the history of film has ever been as in tune with what the fans want as that man.
Yeah. Well, I want to know what Ryan Reynolds said to him because they had talks like, look, I want Deadpool 2 to be rated R, man. Come on.
Oh yeah. I remember reading somebody had a great idea for a Deadpool appearance in a PG-13 X-Men movie. And it was Deadpool's there and he knows that they only get one fuck because it's a PG-13 movie. So he's waiting for his right moment. He's waiting. He's so waiting for the right moment. And then Wolverine says it. He's so pissed the rest of the movie. And he can't swear at him because it's a PG-13 movie.
Speaking of Wolverine, did you hear what Hugh Jackman did to Ryan Reynolds recently?
No, what'd he do?
He apparently, Hugh Jackman was just out walking about. And a cop recognized him, came over quickly, the real quick moment of like, hey, I'm a fan, blah, blah, thing, right?
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman goes like, hey, can you do a video real quick for me? He made a video where the cop's like, Ryan Reynolds, you need to put Hugh Jackman in Deadpool 3. It needs to happen. And at one point, you can start hearing Hugh Jackman telling him what to say.
That's great.
He's gonna go, all right, good job, mate. And then he ends it.
I love Hugh Jackman's fucking awesome. I love that they've, this kind of fake feud has been funny as hell. He probably will pop up, as a cameo, a brief thing. He'll do it. He will 100% do it.
I hope so, because we've unfortunately, from the way it sounds, we've lost our chance with like him as Wolverine with Ryan Reynolds, which would have been awesome. But I respect the fact that he's sticking to his guns, what he's done. I respect that.
What I would love is, and this would never happen in a million years, but Hugh Jackman does like a, regular drama or an action movie or something. And Ryan Reynolds pops in as Deadpool and keeps calling him Wolverine. And he's like, I don't know who you're talking about, but I'm not this Wolverine fella. And he's like, oh, stop it. I know it's you. Like a little brief exchange like that. Oh, if only. Did it strike you as odd in this film that there never actually is a tournament?
A little bit. I noticed, I was like, there's no tournament, but apparently I guess a lot of people caught on to that. So like the writer or whatever, like went on an interview and was like, look, the way we have it set up, so everyone's clear here. We're envisioning, if we're lucky, a trilogy. The first one will be the pre-tournament. The second film will be the tournament. And the third film will be like a post-tournament. They're like, that's how we kind of envision doing this. So God willing, we get a sequel, right? That will be the tournament. So for the love of God, people, support this movie. Go see it in theaters. Stop bitching about the little things and have fucking fun and enjoy the movie. So you can get the tournament that you want so badly in the sequel.
Yeah. It didn't bother me. I just thought it was funny. Like I was like, we're 2 hours in. I'm like, we're running out of time for the tournament here. Like, is this going to happen?
But you're going to hear the name, get commented on its misspelling, and that's it.
I can't wait to see like who we get for part 2. Like, is Baraka going to show up? Like, I want to see like some hardcore names.
I feel like they would have to, because they went with like a lot of the bigger names for this first movie, obviously.
For sure. I mean, there's a lot of shitty characters. Like, Meat is never showing up. So, be sparse. Any other scenes you want to spotlight for Mortal Kombat?
Before we get to the awesome end one. Honestly, like besides the beginning and the end, those are probably the standout scenes to me. Besides that, it's a lot of character moments in between that I enjoyed, especially obviously with Kano. Oh, no, I did like the part when he takes the shield down, and Shang Tsung comes in, and you hear him go, "Finish them!" And then like they have like the big fight, and you like we mentioned earlier, you have the scene where she goes into the fucking
blade.
Yeah, the hat blade and splits, and it shows it in all its amazing detail. And he says the line, flawless victory.
Did anybody say fatality?
I don't think so. I've seen it twice. I do not recall
like
hearing
they
fatality.
did, but I don't remember it.
I've seen it twice. I do not recall hearing fatality.
Maybe they're saving that for part 2.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Like Liu Kang, rips out Shang Tsung's heart or something. It just goes fatality right in his face and kicks him off a bridge or some shit. I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Kano win, fucking beauty.
Beautiful. I thought it was cool at the end how they realized, we got to separate them, and everyone got to have their Mortal Kombat fight at a different stage. That was really sweet.
That was awesome. Seeing Sonya get her thing and just blast that bitch.
That was cool. That was cool. Remind me again who fought Cabal. Was that Liu Kang?
Yeah. That was Liu Kang.
Because he lit his ass on fire. Yeah.
Yeah, he did his fatality into the fucking fire thing. I like when you hear Cabal real quick go, oh shit.
I thought it was funny how Cabal was like this New York kind of guy. Like, it was not the voice I was expecting from that suit.
No, I like the shots he keeps taking at Kano. Like, they're both pieces of shit, and they keep taking shots at each other. Like, you got Kano in there, he's some ugly motherfucker that got me an iron lung. I'm like, Jesus.
Beautiful. So the end fight is obviously, Scorpion versus Sub-Zero, which we've all been waiting for the whole movie. And it is beautiful. It delivers. Just, Cole fights Sub-Zero. He's not doing too hot. And he uses his, get Scorpion out of jail free card. And you just see a spear come from behind, grab Sub-Zero's hand. Camera pans over. Get over here. Pulls him. And now we're in this fight.
I had the hugest nerd boner the moment that happened. Because I told you, I was sitting there going, don't make this guy fucking Scorpion. Like, I don't, nothing against the Cole character, just don't make him Scorpion. Which, oh shit, I forgot about that fight. Now I'm thinking about Scorpion Sub-Zero, the Jackson Sub-Zero fight was really cool. He lost his arms.
Oh yeah, that was a cool one.
But yeah, like the whole time I'm thinking, no, don't. And then yeah, as soon as you get ready to kill him and you see the fucking whatever that weapon is hit him in the arm, and you're like, oh, and yeah, get over here. And I was like, yes, okay, sweet, yes, we're in the fight. And God, that fight was cool. I mean, from when he takes his blood and freezes it and makes an ice wall and just flings him through it. So like I said again, and this really speaks to how much they were dedicated to these characters. When Scorpion throws that blade at him again and he dodges it, if look at like Taslim's eyes that he does with that, the way he just goes and looks at him like, I know what you're going to do. I'm not falling for you. Sure enough, as soon as he pulls, he just fucking grabs it. I was like, oh,
that was sweet. Yeah, I was blown away. I give this film an 8. I thought this was a badass return to form for this movie franchise, and I really hope we get to see more in the same vein. Yeah, very excited.
Yeah, I agree. 8 out of 10. For all the people that are bitching that it's not high art, I don't know what the hell you think you're paying for. Just shut up, enjoy the goddamn movie, have a fun time,
and let people enjoy shit.
Yeah, like I want a sequel. I want the 2 and 3 they're talking about so bad. So yes.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. This was awesome. I loved Mortal Kombat. I'm glad we got to spotlight it here on the sneak preview. Next week's going to be, I think, just as badass. We get Guy Ritchie's new action thriller, Wrath of Man, in theaters, as well as Gia Coppola's wacky satire, Mainstream, also in theaters, and a buddy comedy called Here Today, starring Billy Crystal and Tiffany Haddish. Tune in next Monday to see what we get to discuss. It's going to be Wrath of Man. Spoiler alert.
I'm looking forward to that. I was a big fan of Guy Ritchie's last movie, The Gentleman, so I'm pumped for Wrath of Man. Plus, it's him and Statham teaming up again after God knows how many years.
Yeah, I think since Snatch, right?
I think so.
So 21 years.
Yeah.
Jason Statham looks exactly the fucking same.
Him and like The Rock, man, they don't fucking age.
They don't. They just keep getting better work. Oh, yeah, fantastic. On Wednesdays, Filmgazm podcast, Josh and I are partnering with independent horror comics company Eibon Press to revisit Lucio Fulci's The Beyond and compare the film with Eibon's comic book adaptation. Going to be insane. Very excited. So beyond ecstatic to do this. And on Oscar Sunday, Austin and I will be discussing the 1991 Best Director race, focusing on John Singleton's Boys in the Hood. Be sure to tune in Friday for the Giggle Guys and whatever they got for you as well. Have an awesome week and keep watching movies.